Polygon meshes are very easy to work with, very easy to handle, and allow you to add detail where you need it without adding detail to areas you don't need it in. But they do have the disadvantage that they're not particularly suited for organic shapes by default because they're very angular and sort of pointy and things. So in order to give a little bit of help, we have a couple of tools that I'd like to just go into. And one of them, you see, if you look at this model, it does actually appear to be quite smooth. Not terribly smooth, but a little bit smooth there in areas. And what's happening is it's using what we call geometry approximation and a discontinuity angle. Now, simply what that does is, as of a certain angle difference between the polygons, it just starts to smooth the normals, just to give a little bit more smoother appearance. You can see as I play with this, it then shifts that up and down. Now, we can override this, and to override this we have something that's called hard edges. So I'll just select a whole bunch of edges, maybe the top of this person's head, and we'll just go on to Component, Mark, Hard Edges, or Vertexes. And you can see that then down here it's nice and smooth, and up at the top is sort of nice and angular, and we can shift between those. Now, subdivision surfaces overcome this sort of organic problem, but the problem then is that they're not particularly suited for angular shapes. So like this, then to create an angular exact shape is quite difficult. But I can use these hard edges and vertexes to actually then create a nice angular shape where I need it and when I need it. However, we can actually go a little bit further than that, and to do that I'm just going to grab myself here, let's get this grab a little bit different thingy here. Ooh, eyeballs. Okay, and let's just grab this octahedron. There we go. Grab an octahedron and go in there. And what we'll do is we'll make a subdivision surface out of this. So just press plus a couple times. So we have a little one step further than just marking it hard or non-hard on an edge or a vertex. What we can also do is go into the component and set a crease value. And what a crease value does is it gives you a slider that pulls towards the edges with a given amount. Now, this slider actually goes from 0 to 10 and is dependent on the subdivision surface level of the object. So, in this case, I have a subdivision surface level of 4, so it will reach the absolute point at the level of 4. Okay. Now, another thing that we can do is, depending on what we have selected, you can actually create different types of shapes. So we'll just maybe like grab this guy here and maybe add a loop around and put a crease value around the middle, and you can see that it will then pull it out in a nice round shape magnetically, sort of in all directions. However, you'll see that it's not actually going towards the points like it was when I was selecting all the edges up there. We can add crease values either to points or to edges or to both. So if I grab these points here and do the same, set crease value and just pull that out, you'll see that then it's pulling it out totally. Now, this is, in fact, in this case, it's edges and points working together. If I go back to my middle one that I had here, which is those edges, you remember, and bring that down, you'll see that now it's only pulling towards the points. So using these in combination, edges, points, and the crease values, I can then create very accurate runs of where it's going to be, how hard, how sharp, how angular, and where it's going to be a nice, smooth, organic shape. So for example, in this case, if I wanted to go into this and maybe have the top to be the octahedron part, but the bottom to be a nice rounded off shape, I can simply go in here and grab then maybe the first one as well. Oops. There we go. And just put that up. And then you'll see the top is a nice octahedron shape, the bottom is the nice rounded subdivision surface. So you're able to locally apply a very sharp edge or an increasingly sharp edge, depending on how much you actually enter in here, without having to add more geometry, which is very, very useful when working with subdivision surfaces, especially on things like mechanical models and that sort.